This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first two guests today are both from Second Chance Animal Shelter. I have Leanne Bloom and Becky Wells. Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having us. And
Thank you for being here. We've tried many times, and with travel and COVID and all the other things, we never got a chance to get together. So I'm excited, especially when I see that wonderful rendering up there of what your new facility, what your facility is going to look like.
Yes,
we're very excited about it.
Yeah, we're very excited. We're moving forward. We've had a few little hiccups along the way, as everyone has these days, but we're still moving forward, and the vision's going to be a reality. It's going to happen either later this year or early next year.
So where is Second Chance Animal Shelter located, and where are you with the business right now?
Oh, okay. The shelter is going to be located on 32 right beside the Days Inn.
Okay.
So it's really convenient, all on nice paved roads. And right now we have renovations started inside. We were gearing up to do that in March, but we all know what happened in March.
Yes, we do.
That put the brakes on everything. So now we've got people in there working. It's a little slower. We're doing everything safely and making sure all of our contractors are going to be safe. But we're pushing forward and hopeful maybe the end of this year, but if not, then for sure early next year.
Now, you started out first as Alpena County Animal Facility, and then you changed the name. Why did that change occur?
Well, as we kept going as a group, we discovered that we were servicing more than just Alpena County. We'd been helping in Presque County, Alcona, so we were outside of Alpena County. Also, we decided that we wanted people to know we were not funded by Alpena County. There was a little bit of confusion with our group. We are publicly funded. We just get our funds from donations from animal lovers out there in the community. So we wanted to come up with a name for the shelter part of the whole facility. And we decided what we really do is give these animals a second chance. So we decided on Second Chance Animal Shelter.
I like that. And Becky, you've been very blessed with some really good volunteers, and actually that's how you're taking care of all of your animals right now.
Yes, most definitely. We have wonderful foster families, and the board members are all good at helping out with everything.
Okay. And now how do you get your animals? How do they come to your facility?
Well, we have a lot of people that will either phone us or message our Facebook page or get a hold of one of our board members and let us know that they have a situation. You know, a lot of times kitten season has just been here, and what our group does is we go in and we try to help not just take the kittens and adopt them out. That's the easy part.
Right.
The tougher part is getting to the root of the problem, and that's unfixed cats. So we work with the people that get a hold of us to make sure that all the adult cats on their property are fixed.
Perfect.
Then we'll take in the kittens. With doing that, we also have some mama cats, some very deserving mama cats that could use a nice new home. We take them as well. So this past year, we've adopted out not just kittens, but a lot of adult cats as well.
And the numbers are staggering. How many?
So far, since we've started, we've helped over almost 300 animals.
That's amazing.
And that's 300 animals that would have no other place to go.
Okay.
So it's definitely been an impact, and that's just without our building being open.
Wow.
We're hopeful once we get the doors open that we can do even more.
So obviously, you know, there's a need for funding when you're, you know, just publicly funded. And I know you've been having a fantastic bottle and can drive. Does that continue?
Yes, that's been ongoing. We decided to do that back in April. A couple of us board members were like, geez, these cans and bottles are just piling up around our homes. Because we were getting ready to do renovations at the building, we'd had it all cleared out. So we had a nice empty space. So we thought, well, let's try a can and bottle drop-off event. Make it safe. People could just drive up. We'd have a big trailer there. So we did that. And the first weekend, we probably collected about $2,000. So we started making it a regular Saturday event. And to date, we've collected over $15,000 from empties.
That's amazing.
It is wonderful.
Yeah,
I never thought it would add up like that.
I know.
No, and the support's been wonderful. We have people now who save them specifically for us. They'll come drop them off, or they'll wait for one of our events.
And where can we drop them off?
Our next drop-off event is October 17th.
Okay.
And our usual spot is in the Kadrich Family Chiropractic the Better Living Massage
Yes.
parking lot right
Okay.
beside Purchase.
Okay.
October 17th from 10 to 3 will be our next event.
Okay.
But we are very fortunate to have some support from Great North Pet Supply, and the people there have offered to be a drop point anytime.
Wow, that's
so
wonderful.
if someone has cans and bottles, they can go to Great North. They will take them for us, and then we pick them up from there.
Before we run out of time, I want to make sure we have time to talk about the kittens you've brought today.
Yes, this is.
So maybe Olivia can bring the other
Penelope.
one up
This-
too.
Yep, this is Penelope, and Penelope and her sister are here, and her sister is a little camera shy.
Okay.
So Penelope, they're like twins. They look the same. They came to us from a person who had a little bit of a situation with too many cats.
Okay.
They had some ones that were sick, and these two were in that group. They had some eye infections and some other issues going on. So we took them in, got them with one of our wonderful fosters, and although they have a little bit of a sight problem in one eye, each of them, we were able to make sure they didn't need surgery to remove their eyes. That's
Oh,
how serious
perfect.
their eye
Oh,
infections
wow.
were. So they've been getting some extra tender, loving care, and as you can see, they'll let you do anything.
They're beautiful.
They've had so much done with their eyes. They are just normal, healthy, loving kitties. I have not seen more lovey kitties than these two. And we would really like for them to get a home together. They're a bonded pair, and
For sure.
we want them to go to a home together.
So how does someone adopt these two kittens?
Well, they can either get an application from Kadrich Family Chiropractic anytime. They can Facebook message us if they'd like to meet them, or they can phone us. Our number is 989-340-1700. So they can get a hold of us. And of course, we'd arrange for a meet and greet first so they can make sure that there's a click there or something.
Right. And is there an adoption fee?
These two, we have a wonderful anonymous sponsor who has put forward the adoption fee on these two, so they would just be $25 for the pair, and they are already fixed.
Oh, perfect.
So they come with all their shots, they're fixed. They've been in a home with a family, so they love people. And these are two, they deserve an amazing home, so we really hope that someone is out there for them.
And speaking of good volunteers, you have someone making masks for you.
Yes. Another one of our fundraisers. With all that's going on, you have to kind of think outside the box
Yes,
these
you
days.
do.
So the cans were one thing. Another thing, one of our board members, Dr. Lauren Kadrich, she's handy with a sewing machine.
Wow, I guess.
So she started making some of these for family and friends, and then the demand was there, so she decided she was going to do it as a fundraiser for us. So she has made masks. I don't even know the number of masks, but we have raised almost $9,000.
It's amazing.
So people can still buy them. They have all kinds of cute patterns. She's working on some Halloween-themed ones right now.
Okay.
They're $10 each.
Okay.
And the funds all go right into our animal care account. So it
And
goes.
how do we buy them?
You can contact Kadrich Family
Okay.
Chiropractic, or you can stop in there during their regular business hours.
Okay.
And she has some there. We also have them featured on our Facebook page if we have
Okay.
some new patterns and designs.
Okay. Well, I want to thank both of you very much for being here, and thank you so much for you and all of your volunteers for taking such wonderful care of the animals in our community.
Well, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll be right back with Ann Gentry with some information about downtown Alpena following these messages. Hi, welcome back. I'm with Ann Gentry from Downtown Development Authority. Hi, Ann.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you for being here on such short notice. I really
course,
appreciate it.
anytime.
And I know there's always so many things to talk about in the downtown area. As I drive through and as I walk through and bike around, there's so many people. Everyone enjoys being outside the warm fall days, and so there's always wonderful things going on in downtown Alpena.
Yeah, it's actually been a great summer for a lot of our businesses downtown. A lot of people have said that new people are coming to our community that have never traveled to here before, but are looking for just a different place to explore. You know, yesterday I saw someone walking by my office and stopped out because, you know, you could tell they were taking photos of old buildings and all that, and they were from Washington, D.C. and said they were doing a tour of Michigan and found Alpena on the map and, you know, loved what was going on downtown. So we've seen a lot of different people come downtown to check it out.
And there's changes always going on in downtown with the two theaters now. What's happening with them?
There are, yeah. So that's probably the biggest news of the the last month of the downtown. So Jeff Konchak, who owns a lot of other properties in Alpena and has invested a lot in our community, purchased both of them from AMC Theaters. So both the State Theater and then the previous Royal Night Cinema. So if you've driven downtown over the last few weeks, you'll see all that old facade coming off of the Royal Night Cinema on the corner of Chisholm and 2nd, and all of that 1930s brickwork that's underneath. So it's his intention to restore both of them to kind of the original facades and appearance, and then make the Royal Night a 3-cinema movie theater again, and then make the State Theater kind of a 1-stage performing arts venue in our downtown. So we're thrilled about that.
So what are the expectation dates for having these things finished?
I know the facade on the Royal Night is pretty much almost
It
off.
is, yeah.
So I think they're pretty close to finishing that, and then all the interior renovations will begin. And then I think the State Theater will be a little bit more process, just because of some of the interior remodeling that's been so extensive over the years to make it into a 3-cinema theater. So that'll come right afterwards. I'm starting to think about, looking for old photos of the outside, the inside, to make sure that's as historic as possible.
Well, I remember as a child going to the theater, how exciting it was to go to the State Theater, and the big stage and the big velvet curtains, and all the stuff that was there. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, I actually worked at both theaters during
Did
high
you
school
really?
and college, and I remember in certain parts of the back of the State Theater, as a lot of people have probably shared, you could still see some of that old stage and some of the old curtains. So a lot of that is still there,
Oh, wow.
which will be great for when it gets renovated.
It will be. So what else is happening?
So the other big news is Red Brick Tap and Barrel has opened
Yes.
downtown. So they opened about a week ago. They're open right now just for dinner from 4 to 10 p.m. I believe. They're where the old dry dock used to be. So they've been renovating that building probably for the last few years. They receive funding from the state through the MEDC for grants. They got a DDA facade grant. So they have redone the entire interior facade, and they're working on the apartments upstairs. So we are so thrilled to have another great restaurant in downtown.
It is so beautiful on the outside. I saw the inside. Kevin had taken me in when they first started renovating,
Oh,
so I'm
nice.
so anxious to see the finished product.
Yeah, it's just, we have so many great historic buildings downtown, and it's been great even over, the last 3 years since I've been here to see kind of one by one these facades getting renovated with red brick, and now with the movie theaters and, the antique malls for sale. So we're really hoping that will be
Yes.
kind of that next project that will happen.
Okay, so anything planning for fall, or has COVID changed all of that too?
Yeah, a lot of events have been canceled. The wineries, Harvest Festival, Sunrise Suds. We had to cancel our chili chowder cook-off. But we're still looking at, different ways to bring people downtown. We're planning on a downtown shopping night for Wednesday, October 22nd from 5 to 8 p.m. So we'll be announcing details on that shortly, but the different downtown merchants are coming together and still want to do an evening shopping event. So stay tuned for details on that. We'll be releasing it probably within the next week on our Facebook page for
Okay.
Downtown Alpena and on our website.
Okay, so what about any apartments available for rent? Are there any right now?
So we have about actually 40 apartments total downtown throughout our district. Nothing that I'm aware of is open right now, but we've been getting more and more calls about people, requesting, hey, I'm moving to the area, or I want to relocate downtown. Do you have any spaces for me? So we do maintain a listing of the different landlords to pass along to people. And between the dry dock or the Red Brick Tap and Barrel, they're adding apartments above, so those
Okay.
aren't quite finished yet. And then above Bob's Bullpen and Bay Athletic
Okay.
downtown, those are coming soon. So we will have some more options for people, hopefully in the next few months here.
Okay, so how big is your area? How big does the downtown development cover?
So our district goes from St. Bernard's Church on Chisholm all the way to the boat harbor, and then we go as far south as Lasting Expressions Flower Shop, and then as far north as St. Mary's Church. So our boundaries have expanded a few times during the years as our downtown has grown, and it's something that we're actually looking at right now, is potentially expanding our boundaries and seeing what that would incorporate, so that we could continue to help market different businesses and do some physical improvements in those different areas.
And, I think it's pretty neat how you're, comprehensive. You talk about parking, you talk about events and promotions and apartments and things to bring people into the area. So do you have any room on your board for more members, or?
We do, yeah. We're actually looking for a few new members, and with our committees as well. So you kind of outlined perfectly the different areas of what we focus on, from parking, business recruitment, economic development, promotions, events. and then design and beautification. So we're always looking for different volunteers, you know, whether it's just helping us with an event or specific project to serving as a board member to oversee the organization. So sorry, so we're always looking for more people to get involved, and you know, it takes the whole community to kind of make our downtown what it is. So we've actually had a few members recently join through our committees that don't own businesses downtown but just love downtown and want to help promote it to the rest of the state. So it's exciting to see different people get involved and kind of share what they love about our downtown.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Do you have to be a member of the downtown development in order to be on one of the groups and committees? And obviously you don't.
Right, for volunteering on the committees you don't, and then on the board we just have to have a majority of members that are either property owners or have a business interest.
So if someone's a retiree and they had been on a big corporation and you know, had a lot of business expertise, you know, they'd be a good person to be a volunteer, or someone who's done some beautification projects in other cities, you know, they'd be a great person to have. So I know those retirees are out there, so I'm really hoping that they'll come forward and say, hey, we want to help. We want to be a part of what's going on downtown, because you can feel it when you're down there. You can just feel the warmth of the community.
Absolutely, yeah, we're so happy with all of the developments that have happened, and as I said, it takes a whole community kind of coming together and working on these things. You know, there isn't just one single project that will change our community, but having all these different events and businesses opening, and you know, we try to do our part with what we organize as well to make it happen. So we're so excited about all the developments that are coming our way.
So how do we contact you?
So you can reach out to us on social media, Downtown Alpena. We manage both Instagram and Facebook accounts. Our website, we have a contact page as well, and that's downtownalpenami.com. And then our office is right next to Culligan Plaza in the little brick building. So we aren't accepting walk-ins right now, but you can always set up an appointment if you want to chat.
Thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College, and I thought this morning that we would catch up on some college business, things that I would like you to know about how things are going at the college. So let's jump in. Fall semester enrollment. This is a huge issue statewide. During the pandemic, you know, how enrollment was going to turn out was an issue of keen interest at the 28 community colleges. At ACC, we finished down 4.1% in headcount and 6.8% in credit hours compared to fall semester 2019. So fall semester 2019, we were #1 in the state in credit hour and enrollment growth. We were up about 4.5% in both, and substantially ahead of the next community college. While these numbers for fall 2020 don't look great, they are very good, unfortunately, compared to most other schools. Here's some of the breakdown. Our online course enrollment was up 148.9% in credit hours and 102% in headcount. This shows that many folks want to take courses online or remotely and signed up for them that way. Our early college enrollment was up 29% in credit hours. Early college is the relationship we have with primarily Alpena Public Schools, the 3-year window that students can transition between high school and college. It's a very fine program. And it was up 23.5% in credit hours. Dual enrollment in early college, dual enrollment, which is slightly different. We do that with, I think, 12 or 14 K-12s across the region. That was up 16% in credit hours and 3.8% in head count. Early college and dual enrollment are responsible for 40% of our head count and 29% of credit hours. This is a pretty dramatic transformation over maybe a decade, where the average age of the college student is much younger, and this is reflected in this data. We have quite a few fewer non-traditional students, folks who are in the 25 to 40-year-old range, who are coming back for retraining. A traditional mission, a mission of community colleges, and a good one. those folks are we don't see so much. Continuing students and new first-time students, this would be the largest aggregation of headcount and credit hours that we have at the college, and it's the same really at every college, large or small community college. This would be the largest pool of students. And those were both down more than 15% in credit hours. So there's some sobering data in there for us, things that we need to act on. But statewide, there are schools that were down 25% in credit hours. This would be the billable piece, which is a pretty catastrophic decline. And many schools were in the mid to high teens, both in terms of credit hours and headcount decline. So I feel somewhat relieved. I also feel quite proud of the way the college collaborated and worked together to come up with the numbers we did. It's a great team. And so ACC finished third among Michigan's 28 community colleges in fall 2020 in headcount, even though we were down 4.1%. And a couple of things that have happened in the last week that I would like to share. There's two programs that are really driven by Governor Whitmer. One is called the Futures for Frontliners program. There's $24 million statewide, and this would be a last dollar free tuition program for folks that work on the front line in the COVID pandemic. And there's a range of job occupations that are eligible for that. And those folks, there's appearing to be a tremendous, that was rolled out about 2 weeks ago now. And the latest data I'd heard is that 60,000 folks statewide have tried to apply for that and have applied. So we are likely to see some of that non-traditional student population return based on that program. And then there's another program called Reconnect, which really targets that non-traditional student as well, that will be funded in a budget that has passed this week. And there's $30 million in that program. These would be folks who are in their mid to late 20s who have some that have a high school graduate, some college, and who can return with a tuition subsidy or support. So stay tuned for that, for more on the Reconnect program. We do have a new Vice President for Instruction, Steve Fosgard, or a great guy. He's been here now a week and a half. He was Dean of Occupational Programs at Kirtland Community College, our neighbor to the west. He's also been at Mid-Michigan, where he worked on an NSF grant and a plastics program that they had at Mid that was pretty well known. And he's also worked at St. Clair County Community College, SC4, down in Port Huron. So he's won several higher education awards in his career, including the 2014 MASSET, this would be Continuing Education Group, Special Projects Award, the 2010 Educator of the Year for Collaborative Teams from Trends, and he was a co-recipient of the 2008 League of Innovation Award for Alternative Energy Curriculum. So welcome, Steve. We have been participating in a 21-day equity challenge, which is an interactive digital resource for individuals to deepen their understanding of racism and related issues. And for 21 days, our participants at the college have received an email prompt with a short reading, a video and audio file on a range of topics. And this has been a good thing. I don't think we can be too sensitive or too knowledgeable about these topics. And I want to thank Trustee Joe Gentry, who's also Director of the United Way, for pointing this in our direction and providing leadership in bringing this 21-day equity challenge to Alpena Community College. There are many other things that we can talk about. Maybe we'll capture some of those in our next solo session. But have a great week. Thank you, folks, for watching Talk of the Town, and we'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.